Record. And here we are live. Welcome everybody to the Chris Conley, Mr. C Dives In channel. Tonight is a very special night here in the history of this channel. Never have we had so many guests and panelists and contributors before, all on the same show. I just want to say our first commenter, Michaela. Michaela, thanks for checking out the channel.
Hi, Michaela. Hey, Michaela.
And we're going to talk a little bit about the Sven-Comic Lost in Time comic book signing, and then we're going to spend the most of the time going over the Flashback Weekend. So first, let's introduce our contributors today. Nanette, welcome. You got yourself listed as Freaky Curator. That's a beautiful thing.
Queen! Thank you. I thought it was Papa Poppy.
Ooh. Come next over to Drew. Drew, your first time joining us here on the channel.
Yes, hello.
Very welcome. Very glad to have you along.
Thank you.
For those that might not recognize the deeper cut, Drew is in the Svenards character, the takeoff on Menards and Sven-Comic as a mashup. So we're fully stocked here in the lumberyard of Big Money.
He saved 11% on that costume.
With reindeer
chicken.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Where do I go next? Let's come back in the corner for Sarah-Goolie. Sarah, welcome back again.
Broadcasting live from the depths of the Chicago River between State and Dearborn.
And if it's said on the internet, it must be true.
It is.
Here we are in the internet, so it's all true. Last but not least, the man with the ectoplasm launching rubber chicken shooter, Warner. Thanks for coming back with us again.
I am predicting a great show.
No pressure. No.
Don't tell me what kind of show to have.
Don't make me use this.
me.
Don't make me use it.
Watch out. Watch out. Getting rubber chickens.
Let's do a mini tour of comments, and then we'll jump in and ask Nanette, since Nanette was the sole one among us, and maybe the only person at all who made both Graham Cracker Comics and Oh Yeah Comics, two separate comic shops on the same day. So we're going to go to Nanette and just
Sven-Comic and Jim did.
Both did.
There was one other guy that I saw, but I didn't know who he was.
Well, I think they were just following the net.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Groupies.
Good luck.
That was probably a guy named Mike. Mike is also a big collector, mostly paper items.
Is
okay.
Is his name Mike Check?
Big car guy.
Did he have a red baseball cap on?
I believe he did.
That's a guy. He made both.
Hey, everybody!
And I won.
I hear ya.
Let's talk more about a guy no one here can see or who knows.
all right, and one more of Michaela's comments, and then we'll go to Nanette and then to Warner. So Michaela, we're glad you're thinking this is awesome. And it's your 1 year anniversary as Sarah-Goolie. If we knew that, I would have put in a banner that would say congratulations and happy anniversary, Michaela. That's really awesome. So we will owe you some kind of on-screen recognition for another time and another day, but we're glad that you let us know that. So now let me zero in on Nanette. Here we go.
Hi.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Woo! So Nanette, I thought it might have been too difficult for me to try to get from downtown Chicago, from Graham Cracker Comics, to then coming to beautiful downtown Skokie for Oh Yeah Comics. So how did you map that out, and how did you manage to hit both signings on the same day?
Magic.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I wasn't planning on it. I was supposed to be meeting Drew downtown for the Graham Cracker one, but he had to take care of some stuff, so it ended up just being me. And when I got there, I think I was the second or third person in line. I was very surprised that I was able to do that. But right after that happened, I actually got back to the train station, had some pizza, took the train all the way back home, got in my car, and decided to drive up to Skokie. And Jim had asked me at Graham Cracker Comics, he goes, do you plan on going to both? And I go, maybe. And he said, are you crazy? And I go, I guess so. And then when I saw him at, I said, I thought this was a challenge. So.
Challenge accepted.
Yes, and I told Rich the same thing. So I could not believe I actually got in my car, drove all the way there, and actually got there before they did. So considering the construction, I wonder how bad that was for them. But I was surprised I was able to do both. I will say the Aw Yeah one was, to me, more of a party atmosphere. The Graham Cracker one was too, but it was more of a different party, more subdued, whereas Aw Yeah was like just so many great Sven fans and people that knew each other. It was wonderful to see you there. It was wonderful to see Warner. It was so exciting to see so many people that I knew.
Speaking of Warner, we're going to go to Warner in a little second here, but I was current on comments, but behind on pictures. So this shot, Nanette, go ahead. So this is downtown Chicago, Madison Street, not Madison Avenue.
Right.
This is one of the premier locations of the multi-store chain of Graham Cracker Comics.
Right.
You can see in the background there many, many copies of the Sven Lost in Time book right there. What else do you have to say about this photo?
They had, I couldn't believe how many comics that they had behind him. And I will say that standing in line with some people, there was a gentleman and his grandson behind me, and they were commenting about how he was watching him, you know, as a kid growing up, and now his grandson is watching. So I really thought that was sweet.
We've said it before. We'll say it again. It's really cool that there's an intergenerational or a multi-generation within the family can participate in watching the movies together as hosted by Sven. So there is, and let me say, as J Spy has noted on previous shows, you know, he knows what he's doing. He's got the pen grip ready. He's got the chicken pose ready. It's an acquired skill over time, and he's had plenty of opportunities and plenty of signings to be on top of it. I think we are getting a bit of static again. Nanette, if you could try to mute for just a little minute and see if that would help or if that wouldn't help with the static. And then let me do some gymnastics here to try to, okay, Warner, here we go. So, Warner, we've talked before right here on this channel. The day at Aw Yeah Comics was our first face-to-face meeting. Let me get it into some of the photos that you supplied here also. So now, did you design this one, or did you locate this one, or where did this photo come from?
That's the advertisement for the shop. So I like to collect the posters and advertisements that come around his events as well as whatever is going on at the event.
That's
and as we know, your collection has a lot of depth and a lot of variety of items within your collection. I'm not sure if this is your shot or my shot, but I like that they had some extra decoration and dummy bit going around there. To put the mask on the face of a jack-o'-lantern, I don't know if that came from Art Baltazar himself, but to integrate that right there in the comic stacks, I thought that was a really cool thing. Here's as we just referenced, he's got the chicken pose ready and down. And let's jump back to Nanette, and then we're going to get some more Warner commentary. Nanette, tell us who's standing next to you.
Dan Didio, and I was very taken aback that him and his wife were so sweet. I was like, oh, would you sign this? And he was just so nice. I was really over the moon that I got to meet him. Hey, who's that guy? Please, someone next time remind me to stand up straight. God.
All right, so Warner, back to you. Walk us through a bit more. What were your highlights of being at the store?
Well, it was pretty fun. I mean, like Nanette said, it was a party atmosphere. There was a lot of people there. They were going out the door, and fortunately, I was there early enough to be like the fourth or fifth in line, and got my stuff signed. But the cool thing was having Art there, and Dan there, and Jim there, and Rich there, so that they could all sign my comic. So I've got the one version, or one issue of that comic with all the people involved in the comic signing it. So that was really nice.
That's awesome.
Oh, speaking of, okay, keep going, Warner. Keep going.
There you go. There's Art.
Stuff.
Art Balthazar. He was the guy that made that cover, that particular cover, and also was one of the artists in the issue.
Yeah. And so for those of us who might not be familiar with Oh Yeah Comics and the group of characters that Art has, that's Action Cat on the cover there with Sven.
Meow.
Exactly. So in the actual book, Action Cat doesn't really appear, but Action Cat is well featured on the cover. And Warner, as long as we're highlighting you for a touch right here, tell us. Did Jim just say something funny to you? Did you just say something funny to Jim? What's
Not
Jim?
Jim would never say anything funny. No. Of course, this is one of Rich's great producers and executive fellers behind the scene, and he's a great guy. He really is. He remembers everybody and keeps the crowd all ramped up for Rich when Rich is busy doing other things. So Jim is really an important part of the Sven-Comic family.
Yes, he is.
Absolutely.
All right, and again, I know we got more people than what I'm used to having in the screen at the same time. Let's jump comments, and then Sarah, you had in the pre-show you had commented a bit. Jim Campbell, always glad to have Jim Campbell around. Holy cow is right. Michaela's back and she's hoping to get her copy on her birthday for October 12th. Oh, and we got the chicken gun ready. We got Michaela. Michaela, happy early birthday to you.
You know what this shoots, right?
Bull.
It shoots ectoplasm.
Ladies and gentlemen, he did it again.
I was going to say banana roll.
Well, gee, you never know. And this is a good point to bridge to Sarah. Sarah's got one of the top Sven-Comic, again, not cosplayers, but living the life of a Sven-Comic. Okay, let's go one more, Michaela, and then let's get back over to. Okay, good. We had kind of maybe repeated twice, but okay, we'll see. We'll see if I get the route of Sarah-Goolie and try to get. Okay, so let me come back over this way.
It's not a costume; it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Yes.
All right, so let me come back over to. Well, I'll just leave Chai-Star's comment up there for a little minute. Regarding the art in the book, and then we'll get Drew's thoughts, and then we'll come over to speak on the convention itself, the Flashback Weekend. Sarah, what were your thoughts on the content of the comic book?
I thought it was a fantastic comic book. I was pleasantly surprised, and I can't wait to read the second issue. And I have to say, I have all the covers, and my favorite one is the cover from Oh Yeah, which I have signed, but it's not at this residence. It's at the North Office, up from the Chicago River.
The North Branch of the river, if you will.
Yeah, the North Branch of the river. True story. It's on the internet.
So the North Office is up in Schaumburg?
Yeah, probably. Or Palatine.
Or Berwyn.
Oh, well.
Berwyn.
All right, Drew, again, I appreciate this is your first time coming on here.
Woo, 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 Drew!
Your train.
Woo-hoo!
Have you had a look at the comic, Drew? And if so, what's your take on it? What's your read on it?
I have. Unfortunately, I read it a while ago, and I didn't really retain anything in this Swiss cheese brain of mine. But I do remember enjoying it. The pictures were great. And I really like the transition from artist to artist. Fortunately, you can't see it, but over there is a picture I have of Sven done by Chris Jones that I dearly love. But seeing all the covers and seeing all the artwork, And it was kind of cool because there were little in jokes in the story that were definitely Easter eggs for the fans. So it was kind of very cool and finding those.
The kind of thing where you can appreciate it, or different
Yeah.
people can appreciate it at different levels. And let me say, I won't isolate myself, but so Chris Jones drew these pages of the comic, and right here is the portrait that Chris Jones drew, which is in the studio. So now you have Chris Jones either repeating himself or being very meta. Chris Jones on Jones. It's again,
it's the Jones multiverse.
Yes.
I hope that's an example
of variant of Chris Jones.
Let me jump some more photos here. Again, just looking at the different covers. Again, on this cover, I like it in a traditional comic style. You have the supporting cast in a circular form over there, and then like Sven appears to be at like a dressing table, maybe maybe the backstage of the studio. But then how they got the light bulb to also replicate a moon. I was good with that. Again, a photo a little out of sequence there, back in the comic stuff. Where was the light?
Nice.
So, and on the comic signing, this was the door in which Sven and the rest of the crew walked in. And so now let's take us to Flashback. Before we jump in, let me see these last couple of comments.
A man in this.
Yeah, that was all you, Warner?
That's Warner.
And Michaela calling in Berwick. Okay. All right. So now we're good on comments. Okay, so this is the same image or logo that Flashback uses from time to time for year to year, and then they bring in the current guests and the current items and things that they have available on the schedule. Drew, how many times have you been at Flashback?
This was my second trip. Last year was my first trip.
Okay, and how would you compare your first one to your second one, or what was? Did you have a goal, or what were you looking to achieve this time around?
Really, the only goal was just meeting up with people that I know online. Nanette, Sarah-Goolie, Warner, some other folks, Brian Bernardoni. It was nice meeting up with him finally in person.
And Dave, don't forget Dave.
Yes, Dave.
Yes.
Dave Fuentes.
Yep.
So great to see him.
Yeah.
It was awesome to see him.
But just that, some of the panels, the costume contest was always fun. And was like Nanette, I was hoping that the Manson brothers would be there, hoping to hear news on a sequel to their movie.
Yes.
Other than that, just making sure that we got into the panel to see Joe Bob and Sven talk too. That was fantastic.
And in a minute, we'll jump down to photos of Joe Bob and Sven and the same faces that are on the screen right now.
If my mom's watching, she's smirking again in all these photos.
And don't forget, folks, to go to SvenGoolie.com where you can get this great hat and this great mug.
Yes.
But no personal
checks.
No personal checks and t-shirts.
He has a store.
Man, oh man! All right, Sarah. For how many total flashbacks thereabouts have you been to, and what were you looking to achieve, or did you have a set goal out of this current?
Well, this was also my second one, and my goal was the same as Drew: meet up with my online buddies, because if it's on the internet, it's true. And I enjoyed the panels, and of course the Sven-Goolie costume contest. And when Sven-Goolie and Joe Bob had their panel also, which felt like a once in a lifetime. Oh my gosh, we're actually watching this in person. And we were lucky enough to get seats near the front, and Warner wasn't too far away from us, so he can attest to that.
Yes.
I sure could, yeah. That was a great event. I mean, they really went on to a long-ranging amount of topics. And of course, I got to make myself a little bit obnoxious during one of Joe Bob's little comments. He was talking about that strange version of Friday the 13th. Or Halloween, rather. The number three Halloween that doesn't make any sense. And I said something, and he looked down at me and went, "No."
That just made me want to see that movie again, because I do believe I saw it when Sven-Goolie showed it years ago, and I was like, well, now I want to watch it again, because I need to watch it again. So Joe Bob did not deter me from watching that. Sorry, Joe.
I fully accept the torches and pitchforks. Bring it on.
Yes.
I like Halloween 3 more than Halloween 2.
Wow.
Don't sue me.
Okay.
Sarah, would you say that your second flashback was a solid number 2?
It was a number 2. Don't forget to courtesy flush.
Yes. It's always good.
Maybe I needed a better scorecard over here to keep track of stuff. Warner, so you had a good way of like you said, with Joe Bob. I'm hesitant to reference the number 2 at this time. But,
After the courtesy flush comment, I don't think we should talk about number 2.
All right, then we're gonna move on.
Yeah, let's talk
And you walked into that.
So, hotel aardvarking, again, keeping in mind that we're at least a somewhat family-friendly outing here. I'm unfamiliar with aardvarking. Who can feel this one and explain whatever can be explained?
I can. I'll
Go.
take full responsibility. During the Sven-Gooley and Joe Bob panel, Joe Bob talked about how he would mess with the censors and come up with his own words like aardvarking. And somebody got all bent out of shape over the word aardvarking. So that became one of our go-tos that weekend. And each time Drew, Nanette, and myself get together, we're the Chicagoons. It's canon. It's been mentioned on Sven-Gooley during the mail segment. We come up with these albums, and our latest one is Hotel Aardvarking because this took place at a hotel, and the phrase that pays is aardvarking.
That's just top-notch material right there. So again, let's.
I'm too busy aardvarking to explain the rest.
Perfect. All right. I wasn't going to come to you again, Drew, but let me let you cool down for a minute there.
He's having the vapors.
We had multiple contributors to the photos here. So who took this shot and whoever took it, there's 2 distinctly focused individuals here.
I think that was mine, and I wish I could have gotten a better shot, but that is Joe Bob and Sven, and boy, like I said, I was really surprised that we were so close. Hey, that's a nice photo.
Yeah, I figured that was a once in a lifetime photo, like you were saying earlier. I mean, I don't think I'll ever be in the same frame as those 2 amazing gentlemen ever again. So I thought, I better do that.
You never know.
Yeah. But that is a great photo.
Well, unless we're all called for the same court case.
Oh.
All right, amongst the other set up photo op.
Why does he always have that worried look on his face?
Because he says, my goodness, here come the Chicago.
You
Them
guys
again?
There he is. Look at that. Like, oh, hi. With the famous Malort trident.
Yes.
Yes.
I wish I would have talked to Joe Bob more. I should have went and talked to him because I remember watching him, with his monster vision years ago, which makes
As
us
do I.
above a certain age. So I was like not old, but older. But I really wanted to tell him how much I appreciated that. And I'm an idiot. I didn't get a chance to say that. So.
Well, to be honest, I didn't get to talk to him as much as I would like to, but I did say I appreciate the Mutant fam and that group that watches the Last Drive-In now. So
yes,
I tried to speak for all of us, and I kept it civil for once.
Thank you.
Warner, as we had established before, when you were right here on this very channel and we were having our previous conversation here, you have a vast knowledge of the many different horror hosts, as does Fuentes of TerrorDaves.com. When did you first learn of, or let's go Warner first and then go around. When did you first learn of Joe Bob and how long have you been following him?
Well, yeah, of course. Joe Bob and Monster Vision in the, what was that, the 80s and 90s. Of course, I knew
Yes.
of Sven Comic by before that, and my horror host in Cincinnati when I grew up was the Cool Ghoul, so I knew all those guys beforehand. But cable brought a whole new bunch of hosts like Commander USA and even old Grandpa Munster, who did a TV show for a while as a horror host. So yeah, that was great. So
Since you were
I was just amazed to meet him.
in Cincinnati, you sure you didn't have Dr. Johnny Fever as a horror host?
he was a horror host for every radio producer. Maybe not for the rest of us.
Just wanted to clarify.
All right, and Nanette, you might have at least partially answered this already, but you definitely know of Joe Bob. About how far back or when did you about when did you first encounter Joe Bob?
Well, yeah, like I said, when he was doing Monster Vision. But remember, everybody, Joe Bob was a TV and radio guy, and also a movie reviewer before he even got on the horror host circuit.
Yes, he was.
Very true.
That awesome knowledge base that you have, Warner. And so, Nanette, about how long have you been knowing about Joe Bob?
When I was, I'm going to say college age or maybe even younger, but I was watching Monster Vision because, let's face it, I didn't go out a lot when I was younger, so I stayed home and watched horror movies. So,
As
Joe
you
Bob,
should.
Yes, Joe Bob was one of my favorites watching back then, and I've been watching Sarah-Goolie since 1980. When I was a senior in high school, I was watching him. So. And my first horror host was actually, oh God, I forgot his name, Dr. Shock.
Ah.
I believe he was out of Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, yes, Philadelphia.
Yes, because my family relocated here in 1976.
With Bubbles.
Yes, Bubbles, his daughter. That was so cool. But I've been watching Sarah-Goolie for a long time, and I should subscribe to Shudder and see The Last Drive-In. I haven't. I'm sure I would love it just as much.
All right. So as we're chatting away here, there's also comments, Michaela. Let's figure out how to make that happen, Michaela. You would be a very welcome guest on this channel. We'll work out the logistics and see how and when to make that happen. Chai-Star, our guys, the merch link, for sure we should do that, but it's SvenGoolie.com, and then I have a store, just select a store. And we are brought to you unofficially without any real legal formal relationship with the Sven or the Sarah-Goolie store.
We are not paid spokespeople.
There you go. Not paid spokespeople.
These are very awesome guests, and
Talk is awesome.
And I'll go with similar to Michaela there. Prior to Flashback, I had zero knowledge of Joe Bob, so that's why it's good to show up at a convention so people can learn stuff and get deeper into the material. Now, for this picture, first I thought there were only 3 people there, but when you look at the extra eye under the crown.
Speaking of poop talk.
Kurt loves this photo. My husband loves this photo.
Photo bomb.
Yes.
Photo bomb by Svenards and the River Monster.
Yep. He's like, look at that eye looking at you. I'm like, yes, I see it.
You can only see 11% of her face.
Hey, nice photo.
So, and clearly in this photo, I'm, it's evident I'm laughing and having a good time. But I got to say, my comparison for this most recent flashback to the previous one, just hanging out with you guys was fun. To put it in simple terms, hanging out with you guys is a lot of fun. And then there's the convention itself, and then there's the camaraderie that comes along and with the convention. So. Well, hence here we are replicating it through YouTube, that which we had in person. So you guys made it a really fun show and a fun event for me.
It was absolutely a great time.
The Chicagoans and Sarah-Goolie. Oh,
I'm sorry, my eyes are closed.
it makes me all warm and fuzzy. Oh,
Dave!
wow.
Dave!
So let's say about Dave. Now, Dave was firm in his quote unquote retirement from YouTube, but Dave's welcome in the comments at any time that he wants to live or not live, that he wants to jump in. And in a little bit, we're going to jump over to take a look at Dave's review on his Terror Dave's blog of the same Flashback Weekend that we're speaking of now. Sarah, let me say that. That's a good ferocity in the face there. I think Dave might not be play acting there. He might be legit scared.
Hey, there's Brian.
Brian. Yep.
River monsters
Brian.
always choose violence.
with just cause. All right, so Brian is another major contributor to the Svenology, to the Svendom, to the Sven-Gooligans, to all the different combinations we can put to Sven and another word to make a compound word of Sven something. Who wants to say? So Brian was instrumental in getting the Sarah-Goolie Day set up back to the previous summer, or who else can speak on Brian's connections?
Well, he was instrumental in Sven-Goolie Day. He was one of the speakers right before Sven-Goolie was given the key to Berwyn.
Yes.
Berwyn.
Yes, and part of his speech did make it into Sven-Goolie Uncrypted.
Yes, it did.
And he did give a nice speech, and he was instrumental in doing a Sven-Goolie Day. Now, this was before my time, officially declared in Illinois. So, I mean, I'm not too knowledgeable on that. I just know it happened.
Yes.
It's on the internet. It's true.
He helped push that through, so that, yes, I think that's October, it's actually Halloween, I believe.
Well, as it should be.
Yes, it should. Yes, it should.
I thought you've been doing this since 1979, Sarah.
Ah, well.
All right.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Well, band.
Now look at Sven again. We were saying when he's got a signing, he's got the chicken pose ready. He's got the ready for the snapshot. Now this is a very different. He's got the arm back over the chair. He's owning the space.
Casual Sven.
I thought he was relaxing. What is I like Joe Bob has two mics.
That means he's in stereo.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow I didn't remember that, but clearly, if the photo on the internet shows it, it must be true. Couple more pictures, and then we're going to jump over to Dave's blog. But what a well-structured shot this is right here.
Oh boy, the stories we can tell.
Should we leave it be at that? Just the stories that could be told about this?
Oh,
or
it's clean. It's clean. It's family friendly.
The morning of Flashback Day 2.
Yes. After Flashback Day 1, Drew was driving me back, and he said, "Do you want to go to what did we say? We started with, you want to go see Lakeshore Drive?
Yeah, Lakeshore
sure. Drive. Do you want to see Navy Pier? Sure. You want to go to Nisei Lounge? Sure. You want to go see Wrigley Field? That's a dumb idea. Let's do it.
It's only 1 a.m.
Yes, so we went to Nisei Lounge and enjoyed their candy cane infused Malort.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So if you switch me to full screen, I have some business to take care of.
let's do that. Let's do that. Let's.
So I can tell the rest of the. I have. Some days will be like that. Anyway, we had candy cane infused Malort, and then we did Chicago handshakes. We walk in looking like this at Nisei. I'm in full on Sarah-Goolie. Drew is Spenard's guy. I thought that we would shock them, but apparently we didn't. And I guess they get some real characters to come through if we're not shocked.
Nope.
So,
go ahead.
So we did that, and then after the fact, Wrigley Field is just right there. So I said, Drew, you want to go take some pictures? It's dumb. I mean, we have Flashback Day 2. What is it? 12:30, 1:30 in the morning. Let's go!
Well, we're supposed to meet everybody in 8 hours.
Yeah. So we did, and those pictures, and we took some very creative pictures, and the one that you just saw was one of them. And I give all credit to Drew because I'm just standing there like this, and he found the creative angle to do that to make me look a lot cooler than I am in real life.
Oh. Shut up, you're cool.
I think I was laying on the sidewalk for that one.
I think you were next to some ABC gum or maybe a throwaway can of Old Style or something.
That's what happens when you go to the EC Lounge. You end up on the ground.
Well,
Very true.
Chicago's used to seeing people lying on the ground, so.
Yes, especially coming out of the
So did the Malort shot shock anybody?
Did it?
No.
Hey,
Oh!
hey, Drew, you went too early. I was there, but then I got you.
Sorry. Cheers.
Hey, that's all right. I hope you okay.
Well, fine.
Credit to your
Drew
consumption
Billy
of
Sunday.
beverage right there, and to your art photo directorship that you did out there that night. That looks like you guys had a real good time.
It was a fun night for sure.
We didn't get arrested.
That's always the best.
We didn't get caught.
You didn't get caught.
All right, and again, let me
But
say that.
and that
Oh,
was
cool.
the night.
Go ahead.
That was the night we stayed. We stayed up till 5 a.m. And about the time to go to bed, I was looking out. Thought, my gosh, that's a hyperactive street light. No, that was the sun coming up. So we had a quick breakfast and went back to Flashback Day 2, and that's the one that involved the costume contest with that fantastic Pee-wee.
Yes.
And again, I'm not a Pee-wee expert by any means, but that suit looks.
I know
pretty-
you are, but what am I?
He meant to do that.
You know, let me just say that I'm drawing comfort in leaving the photos. But yeah, the bike is great. The whole thing, the whole Pee-wee setup is great, and Sven looks like he's having a good time interacting with.
Well,
Pee-wee.
if I remember correctly, the Pee-wee guy said it took about a year to get all that gathered up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Might have.
And as it would be, because getting movie accurate props is difficult.
Yes.
No doubt. All right, Nanette, in our last of our photos, and let me say now, in my assembling the photos, and I'll have to come back for a different night. So Warner also definitely had photos with Rose McGowan that she was doing a signing there, and again, Warner's been able to show us the chicken gun here, the chicken blaster. So my apologies for not having that loaded in for the sequence, but the last of the photos that we have for right here.
Oh, gosh. I kind of did that at the last minute because Rich Sarah-Goolie was making a comment about some drawings that I had done for other people. Richard from Halloween Girl as Captain Trash Can, and Bill, I believe Hi Guy Bill is he's known on Twitter. I made him into Captain Coffee, and Rich had made a mention about him being Captain Dustpan, I believe, during the Co-Zone. So I hurried up and found that image and did a drawing of it and gave it to him, and he just started laughing. I hope he liked it. He seemed to.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a story.
Go.
Oh no, it's a story.
It's a story.
Story.
Are you still going, Nanette? I don't want to be.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
The three of us, well, maybe Drew and I, are avid watchers of Chicago stuff. I don't know if you watch Chicago stuff.
Every
But it's-
day.
Yes. But it's that one-off pilot episode that Rich did from December of 1985, and we watch it more often than I'm willing to admit. Anyway, he had Emo Phillips on there, and we recreated a scene from that. And Drew asked, "Do you make the best coleslaw in the world?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Darn."
Yep. Slapped a $5 bill down on the table in front of Sven Comic, and he just about lost it.
Oh my God! I thought he was gonna fall off that chair because he's like, you did not just reference a really deep cut. And we are like, yeah, we watch it every day like a bunch of excited 5-year-olds. I want my appy slices and juice.
Coleslaw show is on.
Yeah.
So we both did big cuts.
That is, I am thoroughly impressed. That is some beautiful stuff. All right, and as we're again, we could speak at great length here, trying to keep things in a relatively a decent flow of things. So let me come over to.
Let's do that.
Let me come over to Dave's actual blog on the screen, and again, I would think if somebody's watching here, I'm betting they already know about terrordaves.com, but just in case. So right here, Dave, again, it's many years, many words, many pictures. So this is a real great shot of Joe Bob and Sven together, and Dave gives you a day-by-day walkthrough.
Fire.
You know, the different vendors, the different merchants, the different opportunities, and of course there's ads also. Again, the Halloween 2 versus Halloween 3. Anyway, so I mean, Dave's coverage is top-notch coverage here, talking about getting significant items signed, and just if you weren't there, hey, look, there's us again.
Hey,
that's something else.
Photo courtesy of Nanette. There you go. So if you weren't there but you wanted to be there, that the next best thing is to definitely check out Dave's blog. And again, the thumbnail for this show came directly from Dave's blog, and that's another thing, the Sarah-Goolie mask. So Nanette, you have the Sven mask on order. Has it arrived with you yet, or it has not arrived?
No, and I'm probably going to be the last person that gets that, and probably the last one that gets the Toonie Terrors. I still don't have it.
Right there with you, Nanette. Of course, down here in Ye Howdy South, everything gets shipped to me last.
Oh, I like that picture of you with
Zombie Kitty.
Yeah, Zombie Kitty.
So I had never met Zombie before, but I was glad to have met Zombie there. And again, here's
Yep.
again a photo. Wow, Nanette, geez, you're a serious contributor to everything, including the photos for the blog.
I think everybody took photos that day. Angela was the one that said, you know, we should all get together for that photo, and that was so much fun.
Yeah, and here's Nick DiGilio again, who's a serious person in the Sven community himself, as well as formerly of WGN AM radio, and currently on his own podcasting system. And back when Rich Coes appeared at Zany's in Rosemont for the conversation with Nick DiGilio, I was there that night, and that was a really good, fun.
Now, see that picture of Rich and Joe Bob walking up to the stage. You can almost see us because that's where we were sitting.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, off to
in
the
that
side,
general area.
Yeah. I didn't know, Chris, that you were at the podcast. I was there too with Angela and her husband.
Oh, see, well. Sometimes it's a missed opportunity. Anyway, so let me come back to stop sharing now. And
okay, take a look at this, guys. You were just talking about
Chicago
Rich
stuff?
and yep. Are you ready?
Yes. Nice.
What?
That's Vlasta and Emo Phillips and Rich.
Oh,
Nice.
That's
a wonderful photo.
yeah.
That's a wonderful photo.
I should have him sign that, really.
Yes, you should. I'm sure he would love that.
Where did you find that?
Oh, it's one of my collector pieces. I've got hundreds of things from Rich from all the years back. So
Nice.
I don't remember where I got that, but I ended up with it. And when you guys mentioned it, I was like, hey, I got
that. I witnessed all of your stuff and Dave's stuff when we did Uncrypted, and I was blown away by all the items you and Dave have collected over the years. You guys, you're more the archivist. I was just somebody talking.
Well, Hulk Hogan Tights, welcome around. I'm not sure about what you can or can't hear, but all right, Jim,
brother.
Now that Sven has a comic and toy, what's everyone's dream Sven-Goolie project they'd like to see happen? And this might be our closer question or close to our. Of course, it's perfect and fitting that Campbell should drop in the big question. Bruce is here in the number 1 box right now. Let's go to you first. Beyond the comic, beyond the toy, is there another project or event or product that you'd like to see manifest and be available?
I would like to see Sven-Goolie meets the Chicagoans. I mean, it's happened in real life.
Yeah.
But why not a comic or toy series?
I would like to see him in a movie. I part of me likes that Fright Night thing where a horror host is actually the person that is kind of the hero. I would like that. I would like to see a bunch of horror in a movie like that. Kind of drawing in on all of their collective knowledge on how to get rid of monsters.
Don't say that. I'm a river monster.
Oh, you're a different monster.
No,
I would like to Count Crawley, something like Count Crawley, the comic book that David Dustmore did.
Warner, and then after Warner, Drew. Warner, what do you have for that one? What thing has not happened yet that you would like to see come to pass?
I actually would like to see them put out a music album of Sven's music and some bits and some of his songs and stuff. I don't know, his theme song and all that stuff. That would be a great thing to have.
Yes, that would be.
Just be careful where you go. You'll end up in Cicero. Bye, Berwyn.
I would like to see that. They did not show that in Uncrypted, and we were all singing and banging it. That was wonderful.
And for people who are not local, let's say Berwyn and Cicero share a significant border of each other, just to keep context for that.
Yes.
Bye, Berwyn. Drew, coming to you in the front top box there. How would you answer the question out of Campbell's corner?
Well, first of all, Berwyn is literally right over my shoulder here.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Been to your house.
Get out of my house. But
You're sure? Are you showing Berwyn your backside?
Family show, sir.
Number 2.
Yes. Kim always says
That's not my first choice, but it's a solid number 2. But my dream project, unfortunately, would have been. We've lost Gilbert Gottfried. I would have loved to have seen a segment or like a horror film history with just Sven-Goolie and Gilbert Gottfried talking about the Universal monsters for 2 hours.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
I think the closest to get to that is on the Amazing Colossal podcast, as formerly hosted by Gilbert Gottfried, but the archive material that's still available. They speak on many topics, but it's definitely a Sven interview, and it's an extended length format. Dave has commented that is his favorite of all the Sven interviews, and I totally see why. But that's duly noted that the chemistry, the palling around, the camaraderie between Richko Sven-Goolie and Gilbert Gottfried is high level stuff.
To Nanette's point, I don't know if anyone else has seen Scare Package or Scare Package 2, but Joe.
What'd you call me?
Yeah.
I didn't say nothing. Joe Bob has a cameo in Scare Package where he appears as himself and he saves the day.
Nice.
It would be really cool to see that carried on in the 3rd installment with Sven showing up to save the day.
Yes, that would be cool.
And Michaela, since Michaela's choosing to jump in and her contribution is welcome, let's read out Michaela's answer to Jim Campbell's question. a nationwide tour for fans around the country to meet Sven. Michaela, let's hope one day you do have a way to meet Sven or get more of an interaction than what you've had in the past. That's really cool. For me to answer my own pal Jim Campbell's question, I'll have two brief answers, and I'll say like either in any toy format, if they can have Elvira with the couch, then they can get together from the NECA Toonie Terrors people can get Svengoolie in the Svenmobile. But oh my gosh, everybody's showing the toys now. Look,
That's right.
Mine's too far away, so I'll just show Kurt.
But then really, as I've said before, to have that 8-inch figure, that Mego size or figure toy company size figures, characters, to have a Svenmobile for that, I will go out of my mind if and when that happens. I will go further out of my mind if and when that happens. But then, and I see Warner's got the 3D glasses on again. That's beautiful.
And one of the things I've lost and missed my mind the most.
Here we go.
These are actually the glasses used during the 70s when Sven did that, or the 80s when Sven did that really bad 3D
Revenge of the
Creature of the Black Lagoon. Yeah. So this is actually one of those from that era.
You go to 7-Eleven and get them.
And Warner, again, as we said before, I know Dave totally appreciates that you had enough surplus to pass him a copy and check that off his significant checklist of Sven items that he was looking for.
I want a Slurpee and some 3D glasses.
That way my Slurpee looks real.
Yeah.
Coming out of the Slurpee fountain.
Stay away from
All
the
right.
chicken salad.
So, as we're starting to wind down, let me say again, for if you're not in the area for All Yeah Comics, or if you're ever passing through Skokie or the Indiana or New York area where there are All Yeah Comic stores, I encourage people to still seek out the Svengoolie comic if that's something that's interesting to them. And Art Balthazar and Franco are great comic artists, and they have a really fun and great style. I'm very pleased to set a new setup here. Oh, I see Warner's got keeping a mint in the box.
Yep.
Very good, sir. Very good.
Nice.
Any closing comments? Drew. Let's go to you, then we'll work around. Drew,
It's the Brady Bunch.
Here's the story. Yeah. No, thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
Of a filly named Drew.
Jim, let me say, back in your St. Louis days, Mr. Campbell, when Sven was still local, he did not use just what's the name for it? Somebody public domain.
Yes, public domain.
He would do
Music.
bits on the police songs or just whatever the
Roxanne!
there. So that would be great. I mean, it's got to be a licensing nightmare, but it would be so great if that were to come out.
There were more song parodies based on different things.
Sarah-Goolie, to you, closing comments. Tell people how to find you out in the socials or out in the world, apart from the Chicago River.
Well, everybody should know how to find me. You go to the State Street Bridge and throw out a bottle of Malort into the Chicago River. I mean, it's on the internet. It's true. But do it! I'm on Twitter as @Dr. Rhodes, all spelled out. That's my alter ego, Sarah Rhodes, whoever she is.
I've never met that person.
She's weird.
I've only met.
That's the funny thing. Nanette's never seen my civilian form.
Only through Uncrypted, maybe.
No.
All right. So Warner, over to you. You have two different Facebook groups that are relevant. Can you tell us the names of your Facebook groups and anything else you want to tell us in closing?
Well, the one is Night Creatures and Horror Hosts, and that's where I have my entire Horror Host collection photographed and posted so everyone can see. I have about 80 or 90 different hosts on there of collectibles from all these hosts. But my the big one is Svengoolie, Svengooligans, and Svengoolie fans, Svengooligans. and it is the Facebook page. That's the second biggest one on Facebook. We have 54,000 members. Well, almost. It's going to be 54,000 probably in 3 days. So we're the second biggest one on Facebook right now, and growing like crazy. And actually, the whole crew of Sven Comic crew, they're all on there. Even Neil Saban recently joined. So I probably shouldn't have said that, but so don't tell anybody. But
We'll
it's
keep
been a
that
fun.
our little secret.
Right. It's been a fun
Don't say
Facebook
anything
group,
about
and
Neil Saban.
it's a big growing page. So if you want to see something, and every Saturday night during Sven-Goolie, we have a chat thread, and we get anywhere from 500 to 1,000 comments on that thread as people joke about the movie and laugh about Sven's bits and talk about things during the movie. And it's a lot of fun, actually. So you should show up for that. You can find me on Twitter at WT Houston. That's HUSTON. No O in there in the beginning.
Houston,
So
we have a problem.
WT Houston at Twitter, of course. And I'm on there showing you all the great posters I make. I always make up a new poster, putting Sven-Goolie and all of his buddies from the show in the poster for each movie of the week.
Those are lovely posters, by the
Yeah.
way.
Oh, thank you.
And thanks for tagging me.
Yep. Oh, I thought you were going to say, and quit tagging me.
Nanette,
That's it for me.
Nanette, same to, thank you, Warner. Nanette, same to you. What do you want for your closing commentary?
I can hardly wait for next month when they're going to be showing double features during Sven-Goolie, and of course they're going to show Sven-Goolie Uncredited again, which my nephew will be very happy because somebody on Grace VR in their house, it was not me, and he's looking forward to watching that again.
We are entering a great season. Again, check the metv.com, check the Sven-Goolie.com for all the comings and goings. There should be some live appearances getting scheduled soon. I don't know if Michaela is in a position to jump to any of those or not, but let me thank our commenters for today. Michaela, Chai-Star G, Jim Campbell, always good to have around. To our first time commenter of Hulk Hogan tights. Thanks to comment on the channel here. And in closing, let me say just my next and upcoming same time tomorrow, as this is live right now. If you're rewatching a different time, then
We're live?
interpret it as
What's happening?
but I was not knowledgeable about Hero Forge or how one can use HeroForge.com to figures and characters for. So tomorrow I'm gonna have a different guest on, and we're gonna talk business about how the guest put together the Sven-Goolie Hero Forge character and some other Hero Forge work in the same business of. So I'm again looking forward to. We're trying to keep the Sven community, whether it's in all these different formats, keeping the Sven community in a good way. Thanks to all the guests. Again, I was really excited to do this, to have a multi-group panel. That's new territory for me. So Drew, Warner, Sarah, Nanette, thanks a lot for coming on tonight. I'm going to close us out. Thanks everybody for watching, and please do tune in to Sven tonight. Again, if you're in the same day, we got Return of the Vampire starring Bela Lugosi tonight. So thanks everybody, and we are out.